Hey guys, welcome back to Duncan's Land and Livestock. This is Josh. Today we're going to go ahead and get to that soybean harvest that we talked about last time. The soybeans have fully grown since then. We didn't really get, we didn't really have enough time to get the pH values up. We didn't get enough lime on there at the moment. We kind of had to take care of a few other things, like this alfalfa. As you can see, it's fully tilled up. It was going pretty darn good. We filled about silo and a half down at the dairy barn down the road, and around around the halftime it started to rain and rain and rain and rain. So we had about half a field rot completely, so we had to till everything up. So I think in next harvest we're just gonna go ahead and do either soybeans or wheat, something simple, something to bring the money up a little bit. But we had to get rid of the alfalfa. That was such a bummer, but it happens. As you can see, we took the triples off of the, the rear triples rather, off of the 1050. We didn't really need it. Even with the tillage, the mud wasn't too bad, even in the rain, so we just popped them off of there. We got the newer Brent grain cart, same one as we had before, except we swapped the floaters for tracks. Same auger size, same grain capacity. It's still the 1596 hopped up to 1986, but with this one we have the custom hitch on the back that attaches to our header trailer, so that if we have to get in any tight spaces, it's easier to pull this train of a thing that's slim and kind of, in my opinion, easier to maneuver than to pull the combine in, bring it all the way around. We might, have to ruin some crops to do that. Just kind of a pain in the butt, depending on where we're going to own fields in the future. So we went ahead and picked that up. Some things we did add lately, since we last chatted, was these custom digital scales here. This one's for the grain cart specifically. It's going to stay in the Fendt. I made the template itself, so the Fendt digital display itself screen, but everything else is courtesy of Perma Modding. He did a fantastic job with them. They work wonderfully. We threw one in the Fendt, the 9240, and the 4440, which shows us gallons. So we can kind of run HUDless if we'd like to play like that. But this one works perfectly fine with the bushels. The downside is if we are toggled onto the header, it doesn't show us. So we just kind of, it doesn't really matter, but I would like to eventually throw them in just about everything we have. We threw one in the new leader, but unfortunately with tons, it just can't understand quite yet, or there's something that I'm missing. And the screen's a little bright, but I did also make this screen here as well. I think it looks pretty neat. Some notes about the new leader. We may stop using this for lime. We might just use this completely for solid fertilizer, which might be a rare thing, simply because we use the Bourgeau for solid fertilizer, so it would have to be in a completely different growth stage, and that's kind of a pain in the butt to take care of because it has floaters. There's nothing thin about this truck. Having to do lime in the midst of taking care of the dairy barn and bringing that up has been a serious pain, so we might just hire out the co-op with their Terrigator to do it. Duncan does it for us, so we can take care of that. It's just going to cost us a little extra, but I'm really not complaining to remove the hassle. But what we're going to do here is, oh yeah, I forgot to mention, since we haven't talked in a bit, that barn there, shed rather, not the first one, but the one right behind it that we had the straw bales in, we've completely removed all the bales. We got a little cut off there. Those bales that we were talking about are down in a new commodity barn that is down by, well, actually it's right next to the dairy barn that we have. Everything looks nice and uniform. It all matches because, Lord only knows that our farmyard at the moment doesn't really match at all. So, yeah, we're just going to try and make everything a little bit more uniform. I think what we're going to do here is head on down to the field. We will meet you over there. And we're going to get everything situated. We have to go ahead and throw some def in this. We have to definitely fill it up. I think Andy's coming down with the thunder. So we'll see you in just a second. Also, one thing I did forget to mention, I don't know if you noticed, but we did get a new microphone. I don't think I mentioned it, but I do apologize for the last 5 videos that we made. They were the first talkthroughs I was trying to make. I, picked up a simple microphone to use, and quite honestly, it wasn't that great. It was very echoey, staticky, and I really tried to fix it in the video editor to make it as understandable as possible. But I really hope that this new microphone works out much better, so we don't have to worry too much about it. This is the setup down here. I don't think I showed it off quite yet, but we have our 2 fermenting silos there. Quite a large capacity on both. And we have just a little fert tank right here just in case we need any spare fert. And then we have the Quonset shop right there just in case we need anything from there. Let's get everything organized real quick. Let's see, we got these 2 crash. Just about. It's our favorite thing to do. Let's see here. Just as I'm getting down here, I realized that we grabbed the extractor. That's funny. At least we're not too far from home that we don't have to worry about it too much to run back. I'll probably just connect the I'll probably just connect the bagger to the truck or something when we head on back down. We just have to go grab Thunder, but I'm not too worried about time frame. We're just gonna get the combine set up and probably just get everything opened up real quick first before we go ahead and let somebody hop in the combine and we start running grain cart, and then we can set up the bag and worry about it later on. I will say this 50-foot header is kind of a pain in the butt to deal with. Simply because it doesn't really go too well with this 9240, I will say, which is really a bummer, but what are you gonna do? We might go ahead and pick up something else here pretty soon. I am not entirely sure. Let's drop this on down, see what we got going on here. I kind of want to look into the MacDon 55-foot. We were going to go for 60-foot, but I don't really think we need that all too much. Let's go ahead and open this field up here, get it all situated. 98 bushels per acre, but I really can't be upset about that when we already know that this part of the field was completely kind of unkept, wasn't really plowed or anything like that, no tillage. We did do a little bit of fertilizing, but only 1 pass over, so it wasn't too crazy. I think probably by the time we run headlands, we can go ahead and run down and grab the Thunder real quick. We can get the Thunder going and throw some diesel in the 9240. We also need some def, and we also we need everything. We need def and diesel in the 1050 as well. I think the 4440 is fine. I just still find it really hilarious that we brought the extractor with us instead of the bagger. That is too funny. I'm going to bring this around here. Let's go ahead and switch to front mode here. I do really like this barn. It holds, I think, 200 head of cattle, so that's going to be plenty for now. I definitely still want to get into corn silage as opposed to alfalfa, simply for the fact that it's a whole lot easier to deal with. We're gonna need some, new equipment to set up the corn silage, but I think in the future it'll be completely worth it because alfalfa was kind of a pain in the butt. But I will see in just a second. We're gonna get everybody organized around here and start these headlands. Alright, we're rolling up on the field here. I'm getting a message there that tells me that I believe Jordan, who's in the 9240, needs to be unloaded there. So we're going to take care of that. I'll probably set up the bag first. We're going to put the bag at the top of the field right over there. That way, unloading with trucks and things like that, we don't have to come all the way down this road to do it. And it's just very, it's right next to the road. So I just feel like it's a little bit easier to deal with than having to go all the way down at the edge here. There's the commodity barn with all the straw bales. I was really happy with the way that turned out. Good spot for it. Fits pretty darn well. We did grab the Thunder. I don't know who the heck is in the truck behind us, but we grabbed it. She's here. Kind of driving like a maniac there. Let's drop this. We're gonna go ahead, bring this around. That won't be enough space. I'm gonna have to stop him because he's gonna run right. Who is this? Andy. Why am I not shocked that it's Andy? It's always Andy. Andy always causes the problems. I don't know why. I have not a clue why, but he does. He just doesn't know how to drive. Why do I keep him hired? Couldn't tell you. Kind of scarce for help these days. I think I'm just gonna drop the bag right about here. We're gonna move the extractor. We're just gonna keep the extractor here because we're gonna need it later anyway. Maybe I will park it right next to the barn here. Bring this on back through. Let's not hit any brand new walls. Just park this right about there. Fantastic. Wonderfully done, I will say so myself. Let's see here. Bring this around. Grab the filling portion of the bagger. I cannot wait for FS screenshots. New version of the bagger, the Brant bagger. It's gonna blow this one out of the water, guys. You're gonna be real shocked with how well they did on it. There is the Badger bagger, and I have that one in storage somewhere. And then who came out with it? I cannot for the life of me remember who just released it, but there is also a custom Badger bagger that works for silage, which I thought was really cool, and I kind of wish it came out prior to us getting these silos because they were far more expensive than a bagger would be. No, listen Andy, please don't follow the bobcat inside of the shed. That is hilarious. But yeah, nonetheless, we got the silos. I can't complain. Timing is just everything. Let's go ahead and bring this up front here. We're gonna unload with the 1050 real quick, and then we'll finish bringing this up to the front. Alright, we jumped in the cart here. We're just unloading Jordan real quick, taking care of the headlands. We have the bagger and Thunder behind us. We'll probably have Jordan stop right around the front over there, probably somewhere along those trees, so we can go ahead and throw some diesel in there. I don't think we'll really need def. I'm going to try and just do def like twice a season if we can get away with it. None of the equipment that we have at the moment really requires a whole lot of it, so I'm not super worried. Let me set all of this to the side here. Go ahead and pop this out real fast. One sec, we're going to go ahead and have Jordan hang on real quick. Alright, we're going to go ahead and probably set the bagger. Oh, what are you doing there, buddy? Throwing it right in my bucket. We're going to go ahead and set the bagger up right here. I think that will work just fine. PTO wasn't even working, so that was cool. Let's get Thunder situated here. Back this on up. We're going to go ahead and throw some diesel in there. You know, I have a serious habit, guys, of saying gas. I am from upstate New York. I truly apologize. It's kind of all in one there for us. We don't really, you know, if you go to a gas station, all you're doing is fueling up. You're fueling up to go. So if you hear me say gas, you can totally call me out on it. It's not a big deal. But I know it's diesel. Let's go ahead and get Jordan off of there. There we are. We'll fill up the 1050 real quick. We do have to go ahead and get some logos popped on the doors there. That'll probably be, honestly I might do that tomorrow. It's super simple, so. If you ever wanted to see, you know, things like that, adding logos and working with the digital displays that I have, just let me know, because honestly it's really fun to do, and you know, I enjoy making the custom textures and all that. So if you ever want to see stuff like that, and kind of maybe get some help with it to do it on your own, I am always able to do that. So just let me know in the comments below, and we can take care of it. Alright, we're pulling up along the side here. We're going to just do a drive on unload. There we are. And as you can see, the scale is working absolutely fantastic. Little bit of glitching here and there. I mean, it is a custom screen, so can't really complain about it. It does show the numbers that we need to know perfectly fine. So, you know, it is what it is. I do like that it goes along with everything, all the green we got going on. I know it's not that dark green. Everybody likes the John Deere green, but I'm a big fan of Fendt. I like John Deere, I like Case, I like New Holland sometimes. I just think it's a neat little addition to have in the cab here. Let's go ahead and miss this bush real quick. We will go right around that. Sneak around this because that is not our land. Honestly, this land that we are unloading on is still not ours, but well, what are you gonna do? We'll meet back up with you after we get around these this first headland at least, and kind of see how everything's gotten situated at that point, because usually the first headland is where everything, we run into issues, things, you know, act up. So we'll get situated real quick, we'll get through the first headland, and we'll see you in right after that. So we just finished up the second headland, and we are cutting through now. Probably going to do about, I would say, 4 rows per side. Kind of just bring it on over nice and simply. Having to deal with these trees on the edge of the field can be a little bit of a bummer, especially with how wide our setup is at the moment, but I don't think we can get anything any more slim unless we want to lose capability. So I doubt that. I think we're just gonna kind of keep it as it is. We're liking the yield so far. Everything's turning out great. We haven't had any stucks, no mud, nothing like that. It's nice and dry. We don't really have to worry about much. Can't be mad about it. The biggest concern I had, I think, was the yield. Oh, we have a full cart here. We might as well bring this on around and head up to the bag. But yeah, I was worried about the yield simply because we weren't able to track down the pH quite well. But honestly, I think it's going to turn out pretty good. I can't really guesstimate on what our total yield is going to be, but the tracker app that we had said it was looking around the 10,000 bushel area, which doesn't seem quite off from what we normally get, even on a bad day. So, well, bad harvest rather in total. So can't be mad about that at all. That will bring in quite a bit of money for getting the cattle going, because to be honest, that's the last thing we need. We have silage already fermented quite a bit. We have hay, we have straw, so we're ready to go. We're ready to rock and roll. I think it's going to be a good time. The only other thing we need is the cattle themselves, and probably, I'm thinking a tanker trailer, just simply for the milk itself. I know we're not going to need it for an entire year, but it'll be good to get sooner than later. I also don't know which brand nor probably nor what kind of capacity we're gonna need. I might just go for the largest we can get right off the bat, because just why not, you know. But also we need another truck. We have the 2 trucks. We have the old Kenworth connected to the seed trailer, which, well, I guess you can call it the seed trailer. It's got seed and fert. It's the 50-foot Wilson. And then we have the larger Kenworth connected to the Load King for hauling grain. So we're going to need maybe just a cheaper little truck. We did sell the Peterbilt that we had. We were honestly having just way too many issues with it. I can't really say it was breaking down, but hoses connecting improperly, wiring wasn't good. It just constantly had troubles. Steering was awful in it. The tag axle didn't turn with the truck, so what in the heck was the point? I know the Kenworth, the larger Kenworth, the W900, I know it doesn't, the tag axle doesn't turn either, but it still has better control than the Peterbilt, that's for sure. So we're gonna have to pick up another truck. Those aren't, you know, those aren't on the expensive side. There are, like, the Kenworth itself, the W900 was kind of expensive, but I mean, look what we got. You know, it's a large truck. It's very strong, so we might just get something simple for now that can pull a bunch of pull a bunch of milk, a lot of gallons. I don't know. We'll see what's in the market, guys. I just remembered we're gonna need something to store manure in. Some sort of, I mean, we have the bunker that's connected to the side of the barn with the conveyor belt, but that's only going to hold so much. We have the slurry storage, but that doesn't count. That's not the same thing. We're definitely gonna need some sort of manure storage. So if you have you know, any suggestions, what brand, what model, is it a bunker, is it a tank, anything that we can hold manure in, let me know. Definitely let me know. I'll see what we can pick up. And we're also probably gonna, I mean, I think we should get a manure spreader. That way we have an additional option for fertilizing as opposed to just using the 4440 or using the new leader. The TT, well, I guess it's not really a new leader. It's technically just a TA80 with the new leader cart on the back of it, but it's alright. I guess it's also not a cart. I guess it's just a spreader. I'm losing my mind out here, guys. We're already only maybe an hour into the harvest, but it's getting late. I'm getting tired. Maybe 2 hours in. I don't even know anymore. It's fine. Going a little crazy, but it's okay. I've had a toothache from heck, and it's not been a fun time. Whoa, we are gonna go ahead and get out of their way. I did talk to John Deere up the road a little while ago, and apparently they have a new set of tracks for the 9240 and a new set of rear tires as well. So I kind of want to look into that. I kind of want to see what they have. I'm honestly pretty excited because they said the tracks are, oh man, I think they're 40 inches. I believe they're 40 inches wide, and we are at the moment rocking 36. So that additional 4 inches does mean a lot, guys. You'd be surprised. You know, that what in the world can I, that's probably, you know, the same argument that people have about the 45 compared to the 50-foot headers. That extra 5 feet, it makes a big difference. Regardless whether you think so or not, it makes a big difference. And with the tracks, it's going to make a better, you know, or rather a bigger difference on compaction. Less getting stuck in the mud, less having to worry about issues with when it rains out when we're harvesting. We won't have to stop as soon because with worry of having to tug the combine out of some mud. So it'll help out a ton, unless they're too expensive. You know, that's always the kicker. We'll avoid it if it's too expensive. It's fine. Let's see what we're gonna go ahead and do over here. I'm gonna probably drop the throttle because he's about to finish up that row there. We are done with the bottom portion, so I think he's probably gonna move it on up over to the top half here. I'm gonna kind of just slow my roll and follow his lead. Gosh dang, that thing moves quick. I know it only goes about 26 miles an hour, but it moves quick. It gets up top speed real fast. Look at him go. He is just cruising along. Alrighty then. Okay, so yeah, he's gonna go ahead and cut into the back half here, and that's gonna bring us probably, from what it looks like, we're probably gonna go all the way on through. Now, my main concern is if he's doing this. Oh, okay. I see what he's doing here. I figured he was just gonna pull a left right about there and jump down the, you know, all the way down the middle, but then we would have had to cut in because, oh, that is what he's doing. See? I bet you it's Andy in the darn 9240. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if you know, but we always have Andy around. Great guy, but sometimes he can confuse me. I guess he's just built different. It's okay. I mean, I know we're going to have to cut in here because he didn't even, yeah, he's almost full. He's almost full. Didn't even get to unload. Probably going to be here for a couple more. Yep, see, then I'm going to have to reverse, and I got to reverse before he decides to run right into me and spray all over the 1050 with that grain. How far back do you got to go? So close. That's two very expensive, two very expensive pieces of machinery that you're just trying to collide here, my friend. I know we have to unload the combine. You don't have to send me a text about it. I know that. Let's see how the scale is doing. Man, I love these scales. I'm so glad these worked out that well. I think I might have to move it over to the right a little bit. Yeah, probably. Not over here, but just kind of on the... Probably just on the panel there over to the right a little bit. Honestly, probably not. I'm just being picky. Let's be real. You just about done? Let's hop up on the tire here. Yeah, he's done. Let's go ahead and jump on back in and reverse real fast before he decides to cut back into us, and I could never. Can't even deal with these guys. First night of harvest in soybeans, and this is how they're acting. Andy and Kyler earlier, driving like a complete mess. I honestly have no idea how they got their license, but what are you gonna do? I think what we're gonna do is finish up this row here. By then it should be about 9 o'clock. We'll head to bed, and we will see y'all tomorrow. What is going on, everybody? It is around 10:30 or so. We are pulling up on the field now. It looks like the guys up at Flint Hills John Deere already stopped by and dropped off everything that we needed for those tracks. Or more so, just took care of it for us. Let's take a peek here. Let's see what's changed. So we got 36-inch tracks on there. We did have 30-inch. I thought they were 36, but now we have 36. And they widened up the axles a wee bit. Just the spacing. Now it's kind of wider, better for support, in my opinion. And it also kind of matches the outer edge of the tracks a little bit better. I'm a big fan of that in comparison to the kind of, you know, tighter width in the back and wider in the front. I just feel like steering support is a little more comfortable, and it does look like they updated the auger. I think they might have added an extension on the end, but it is about 2 or 3 foot longer, so that's awesome. Plenty of clearance for that 50-foot draper there. So let's hop on in. Let's take a peek here. Oh, look at that. So we also have our logo switched up there. We did have the circular logo, but I made these stickers just for like the trucks and all that, simply because the circular logos sometimes didn't work with the trucks. Usually on the right side door, the passenger door, we have the little glass piece there. The small window on the right side anyway. It would kind of get in the way, and going over top of it didn't really work very well. We just wanted everything to fit better. I do like this little logo. I'm kind of thinking about changing it up a little bit, probably just simplifying it a little bit more. All in all, I really like these tracks. I like the way that they sit. I like the width. I'm happy. I'm happy with it. So we can definitely get this back to harvest. There we are. We're going to lift this on up here and let somebody jump in. Ooh, this is much quicker of an acceleration. I wonder what they did there. I'm gonna have to give them a call, but that kind of shocked me a little bit. We're gonna jump back into harvest here. I don't know who is gonna decide to hop in the combine here, but we'll find out. We will let them do their thing. Let's get back in the 1050. We did also run home and grab a chain to toss on the just the weight of the fent here, just in case something decides to get stuck. We can go ahead and attach that and pull it on out safely. Let's see here. We'll go ahead and bring this back on down. We will meet up with whoever the heck is in the combine at the moment and finish up soybean harvest, because it looks like we have... I feel like we've only gotten through half of the field. I'm probably right. We haven't... It feels like we have so much more to do. But definitely profit-wise, going to be really happy with it. We did talk to our friend Dan Finley, who owns Finley Farms Ltd. Up in Alberta. I believe it's Alberta. Potentially going to do a joint venture with him sometime in the future. He's got, I think, 6 S790s. Several quad tracks, the FS Steiger style. He's got I think just the same amount of 2596 Brents, if I'm not mistaken. He's got a large operation out there, I believe 1,200 acres, and as you know, we're only sitting on 100 and maybe 70 acres max at the moment. So about 8 times the size as we have here. I think it'd be really neat to see what we can do with that. That may involve moving in the future, but to be honest, I wouldn't be too upset about that if it, if it meant expanding the farm much further than what we could do on our own here. I think it would be awesome. Dan has, like I said, a lot more space and a lot more equipment than us, so him starting out, wherever we decide to go, will be a lot more simple than myself. But I believe us helping each other out will make, the long run much easier. The main thing that we're going to have to try and figure out is where are we going to go? We were thinking more north in Canada, but everywhere we kind of looked up there is full of trees, and we would really have to do a whole lot of logging or hire someone to do a whole lot of logging to make enough open land for us to be able to make fields. And especially the size of the fields that we would like to do. He's at 1,200 acres, I'm at 180 acres. Myself, I was looking to do easily 1,500 acres to 2,000 acres on my own out here in Fairbank. Eventually that's really where I was going for. So if we're doing 2,000 to 2,500 a piece, that's 5,000 acres. We need a lot of space, and to take down trees to be able to cover that space it's gonna take a long time. So we're not sure if that's on the table for now. It is definitely a future idea. I will link his Facebook page in the description below, so you guys can check out his page. He does some really neat stuff. The guy's got helicopters and airplanes. You should definitely check him out. He doesn't have a YouTube page just yet, but I'm trying to convince him to make one, because his operation is just massive, especially for this, just in general. Other than that, we got our harvest going on here. After this harvest, I believe we're going to be able to go ahead and get some cattle. That is the game plan. I know I've said it several times. I know I've changed my mind on past harvests, but this is definitely going to be the year. Well, the season rather. This is going to be the season that we get some cattle and finally fill up that barn. It's only taken us, I don't even know how long on this farm here to get it situated. I'm thinking I might start off, if I can, about 100 head. I think that'd be a great way to start. The barn itself, if I'm not mistaken, holds 200 to 250, quite a lot. I could be wrong, but I believe it holds 200 to 250, so we'll only be at about half capacity. I do need to still get a truck. I was looking into another Kenworth, the W925, because we have the W900, and that's easily my favorite truck. And we also have the T880, I believe. That's the older truck there. So I think getting the W925 for the price point that it's at, and it also, I believe we saw one with quad axle, so it has dual steering tag axles. That could definitely hold down a lot of weight. We could even make it so that the T880 is the tanker hauler for the dairy, and maybe get another Super B for the W925, so we can have 2 trailers running grain at the same time. That would be cool. I'm trying to think of what's the next game plan. What's next on the agenda. I definitely know that we're gonna go ahead and, if it's still available, purchase that yard from the auction there. I definitely would like to get the neighbor's yard, because if we're trying to expand as much as I'm hoping we can, we're gonna need that space. That yard is wide open, plenty of room to add more bins, plenty of room to add anything, really. We can add some sheds for equipment, more sheds rather. It's got a few sheds. I don't know. Alright, calm down now. I got the combine yelling at me that it's 85% full. I get it, I hear you. But on the topic of sheds, I don't know if we'll need many more when we get that yard, simply because it doesn't really rain or snow out here very much. Actually, I'm lying. It definitely rains out here a lot, but I'm not too concerned about the equipment being out in the rain as much as I would be in the snow. And I don't think it's snowed since we've built this farm, so I wouldn't be too concerned about it. But regardless, $575,000 for a yard like that, it's definitely in the cards. I think that's what we're gonna do. We're about to have a full cart here. We're gonna have to run over to the grain bag. I totally forgot that when we left the truck over there that I didn't even turn on the 4440 and set up the grain bag. So we're gonna have to jump out and take care of that real fast. Let's run on over. I am seriously waiting for FS Screenshots' new bagger, the Brant bagger. I don't know when they're gonna release it. I don't know when that's gonna be out on the market for us to pick up. I did, however, for now at least, look into the Badger grain bagger. It's very, very similar to the Akron, just a little bit different of a color, a little different setup, and it's actually a bit easier to deal with, in my opinion, from what I've seen anyway. Let's not dump that on the ground. There we go. It looks a little bit easier to deal with, I think, so we might have to go ahead and pick that up. Let's turn on this 4440 here and send that out. There we go. That should be all situated. So we just unloaded the cart for the first time today into the bagger. Looks like we have around 5,400 bushels so far, and we are about halfway done, maybe a little over halfway. So I'm thinking we'll be in the 9,000 bushel or so area before we're finished up there. Well, by the time we're finished up, everything's going pretty smooth. We've had no stucks yet, no equipment failures yet, sort of. I mean, we had a little issue with the header at first, but everything worked out pretty fine. But we're gonna jump into finishing this harvest here, and we'll see you after. Alright guys, we're on our last two passes of this field here. It looks like we're at about, I could be wrong, but I'm thinking we're in the 10,000 bushel area, which is awesome because that's upwards of what we were expecting. Not by much, but by a little bit. And honestly, when these things peak, you know, when beans peak, they're at about $75 a bushel, 78 sometimes, depends on the year, and honestly depends on down to the season. But $78 a bushel, we got about 10,000 bushels or more. That's awesome. You know, that's around $800,000 profit at the end of the day, and we'll be able to pick up that yard. We'll be able to get the trailer, the truck, the cattle, everything that we wanted to get done. This is time, you know, this is the time for it. We can take care of it and finally get some more stuff to do around the farm. Like I said before, I love grain farming. It's, you know, it's fantastic, it's relaxing, it's honestly super simple once you get it down pat, especially with this precision farming. It's super helpful. Having some cattle to take care of and having some dairy to run, that'd be pretty cool too. Maybe we could even get into, you know, working with baling. I'm not a big fan of baling, but I think if we get it down pat, as well as, you know, grain farming and dairy, it'd be a pretty darn good side income as well. I have looked into some nice flatbed trailers with a pup trailer as well. That would be cool, you know, for hauling the bales, because I'm not a big fan of having to, you know, I'm just not a big fan of baling. But honestly, extra things are always fun to do, and it's extra content. and it's just expanding the farm, giving ourselves, you know, more options to work with. We're gonna finish up here. They're about to stop. We'll unload the rest of the combine. That should be about that. They're gonna close up pretty darn quickly. We'll run up to the bag, unload everything, and I think next episode we will get. I'm trying to debate. Maybe we'll make the next episode of getting cattle and the trailer and pretty much getting dairy all situated, and potentially jumping into baling as well. I would like to find a nice, a nice baler. I don't know if I want to do round bales or square bales. I honestly hate round baling just because it takes forever. They just take forever to unload, whereas opposed to we can get the Agco baler and bale it darn near 16, 17 miles an hour, and they automatically unload. But round baling, easier, I think, to pick up. So I don't know. We'll look into it, but we'll see you next time. Have a good one, guys. Take care.